there. See me, the phone's on the ground.
Open script and I'ma read it right. Study to show thyself approved. You got to read it right. Everyday hell, I'm just trying to show eternal life. I'm just trying to show eternal life. This burning all at midnight. Who shall teach knowledge, make them understand doctrine? Who shall teach knowledge, make them understand doctrine? Who shall teach knowledge, make them understand doctrine? Line upon line, line upon line. Who shall teach knowledge, make them understand doctrine? Who shall teach knowledge, make them understand doctrine? Who shall teach knowledge, make them understand doctrine? Line upon line, make them understand doctrine. Open script.
All right, cool. Peace, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Burning Midnight Oil. As always, it is quite a pleasure to sit here on a Friday evening and, have a little Bible study with the world for those that are participating. My name is Brother Jediah. Not that who I am is of that much importance. And this is my son. This is Nashawn Jacob. And today, he'll be reading for us. And today, our lesson is, what is it? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? No, really, what is it?
Sunday, Saturday, Sabbath day.
Sunday, Saturday, Sabbath day. Oh, yeah, I get it. So, today, really, we're just going to kind of look into, like, our custom is to go in the to keep the Sabbath day. Our custom in my house. We've been doing it forever now, like over 20 years. My kids been doing it forever, where we have a holy convocation, church. We go to church on Saturday. That's how it was. Like, it's a passage in the Bible where Jesus was in the synagogue on the Sabbath day. He stood up to read. Like, that was always the right day to go to church. Somewhere, somehow, and we're going to look into it a little bit, somebody decided to change the rules. And they set it up to where, now we start to go to church on Sunday. Little do people know that they were already worshiping on Sunday. So really what happened is, when they decided to start going to church on Sunday, they just really tagged Jesus on what they was doing already, because they were worshiping the Son. And from generation to generation, this process continued to the point where people forgot what Sunday really was. And now they think that they're doing God a service or themselves a service by going to church on Sunday. We're going to go ahead and get started with the Bible. This is a Bible study. And we're going to start this off at Exodus chapter 20, verse 8 through 11. And what this is what we like to call the Ten Commandments. Now, when you go to your courthouse, to a lot of places in America, they will actually have the Ten Commandments recorded. But what you will find out is a lot of times they don't quite give you all of this commandment. And I'm going to show you what they give you, and I'm going to show you what they leave now. So go ahead, Exodus 28 through 11. Go ahead.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
So that's nice, short, sweet, and to the point. And that's generally what people tell you. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. So what that does is it allows for each culture or each type of faith to keep open their Sabbath day, basically. You know what I mean? But reality is this is not open for discussion here. Read the next verse.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work.
So what he's telling you is first of all, a week is 7 days. And this is biblically sound. This is from the Bible. So he's telling you, look, 6 days you're going to do all the work you're supposed to do. Go ahead.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate.
Yes.
For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, or all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Right. So we see a few things here. Um, 6 days shall all thy labor do all your labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. So he said, and then don't do any work. This is how you remember to keep this day holy. Nobody in your house is supposed to work. Then he tell you in verse 11, for in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and he rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed a particular day. So when he's saying he blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, it's like this day is different from all the other days. Like he's telling you, like he's giving you this day and saying it's different from all the other days. Genesis chapter 1. There's a scripture in Matthew, I believe. He said where the Sabbath day was made for man. We're going to see that here. So God gave you a day to rest. Because otherwise, he said, you will go, 7 on 7. You'll never stop. And that's not healthy for man. Even when you look at how the Lord dealt with agriculture in the Bible, it was even based off of around 6 years you do, 7 years you come off. So the Lord is showing you that, a 7-year cycle, or 7 even day cycle through, from week to week. Like this is the standard number. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say this is the perfect number. This is the correct number. Okay? We're going to read in Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 through 5. And what we're doing is we're coming back to the beginning, and we're going to learn a few things, but we're going to see where the Lord blessed and hallowed the Sabbath day. But we're going to learn a couple other things as well. So when you get there, go ahead and read.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light, and there was light.
Mm-hmm.
And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day.
So one of the things we learn in the Bible, one of the first things we learn is how we determine our days. A day is consistent, not of 24 hours. We didn't read that. It's consistent of evening and morning, or nightlight and daylight. So, for example, today is Friday evening. Friday is gone. When the sun left, the day was over, and now we're at the eve of Saturday, or we're at the eve of the last day of the week. I give you another way to look at it to where it makes a little bit of sense. Which comes first, New Year's or New Year's Eve? New Year's Eve. Because now, they got the whole day as New Year's Eve. But the reality is the eve of New Year's comes the night, it would be January 31st, and then, December 31st, and then when the sun went down. So the dark comes first. The dark comes before the light. So the evening comes before the day. So the day is over, and the day is now we're starting new. We're starting it, and it'll be nighttime, and then it'll be daytime. Then once the day is over, then we go to the next day. Okay? So God said, let there be light, and there was light, and God saw the light that it was good, and God divided the light from darkness, and God called the light day, and darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day. All right, now let's jump over to verse 13.
And the evening and the morning were the third day.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so.
Mm-hmm.
And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night.
Mm-hmm.
He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day.
So on the fourth day, God made the sun and the moon, stars. And this is what we use to separate our days from nights. And it's going to take you, and we're going to learn, 7 days will complete a weekly cycle with the Lord. Okay? So we're on day 4 here. And we see that on day 4, God created the sun and the moon, throw them in the firmament. God made man on the 6th day. Okay? Now, let's go to chapter 2. chapter 2, verse 1.
Thus the heavens and the earth are finished,
Yes.
and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made.
So now we're saying that God, he on the seventh day, he was done, he was finished, and he rested, he stopped. It didn't mean he needed to take a nap or anything like this. This is what he did before mankind even existed. Go ahead.
And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which God created and made.
So you see, he's saying, and God blessed a particular day. So, like, you know, some people like to try to go with the theory that, man, any day can be a Sabbath day. Like, no, God blessed this particular day. So this is the Sabbath day. There is no other day that we can try to say, oh, this is a Sabbath day too. Or this can be a Sabbath day. He blessed a particular day. So if you feel like that day is Sunday, then you're saying he blessed Sunday. Or if you feel like that day is Friday, because this is what makes the Sabbath day different from any other day. Okay? Now, let's go to Exodus chapter 31. And what you may not know about us here at Burning Midnight Oil is that we try to keep it to 12 scriptures. That's the gimmick, I guess you can say. You know what I'm saying? We try to give you this subject in 12 scriptures. Generally takes about an hour, give or take. And, you know, we're just trying to give you that little extra. Trying to help you build upon your foundation, you know. Sometimes we do take requests. I have a request for somebody asked me to do one on Valentine's. Lord willing, we'll get one. We'll do something on Valentine's Day or idolatry, really. But at any rate, back into our lesson on the Sabbath day or Saturday or Sunday. Like, what is it? You know what I'm saying? What day? And when you, here's the significance. We already saw in Exodus 20 that you're not supposed to work on this day. But if we would have went to Leviticus chapter 23, it would have told us this is the day that we have a holy convocation. This is the day that we go to church. So it's not even that, you know, with this particular day we don't work. There's a few other things on this particular day that the Bible teaches all mankind has to do in order to obtain their salvation. Exodus 31, 12 through 17. Check this out. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Sabbath ye shall keep it, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations.
So notice what he said here. He said it's a sign between God and his people when you go to church. So that's why it's important that you keep this regimen in your life of going to church. It's kind of like when the Lord sent the death angel through Egypt. The sign that he didn't kill him was the blood on the doorpost. So the Lord is looking at the physical. So he said, if you go this Sabbath, you go, he says, and the Lord speaking to Moses said, speaking to the children of Israel, verily my Sabbath you should keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generation, that ye may know that I am the Lord that do sanctify you. Go ahead, verse 14.
Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defile it shall surely be put to death.
So he's saying this day's supposed to be holy unto you. So again, it's not a Monday, it's not a Tuesday, it's not a normal day. This day has to be holy unto you. You're setting this day apart from everything else. Go ahead.
For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
Yep.
6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest.
And the basis of it is the same basis that God has. He worked 6 days. He created the heaven and earth. And on the seventh day, you rest. You stop working. You know, like now in this day, you know, we trying to keep it holy. So we do things like we make sure we're reading our Bible. You know what I'm saying? We change the way we eat on this particular day. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of things that we're not doing on this day to help keep this particular day holy or to sanctify or to set apart a day that God blessed for you, though. Go ahead. What verse?
Middle of 15. Holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death.
Yep. So this is how serious it is. If you're going to go to work on this particular day, he's going to put you to death. Go ahead.
Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant.
Yes.
It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and and was refreshed.
That's good. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5 now. And so Matthew chapter 5 is a good one, especially because, you know, and here's the thing, too, is that most of us that's watching or, you know, are actively participating in keeping the Sabbath day holy right now. Maybe even using this as a time to say, hey, you know, I'm gonna listen to Brother Jediah, you know, keep that word going, so I ain't just speaking my own words, doing my own thing on the Sabbath, you know what I mean? So you might be like, I know this already. You know, dang, today's topic ain't that great. Ain't that interesting. Ain't that, you know. But here's the thing. Part of what we do is we live this life. And then we share our beliefs with the world. We you know, the Lord said, if you love me, feed my sheep. So you have to be educated and know how to show people what it is that you're doing. Now, you might say, but everybody don't want to grab the Bible. Some may. But if the Bible is in your mind, in your heart, if the Word of God is here, then you're going to be able to express it regardless. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have the correct words to say because you put that study in. So again, this is not just about me teaching you guys anything as much as, because, hey, we keeping the Sabbath. As much as, number one, we're confirming what we do. But number two, we're proving what we do so that we will be able to go out and show others too. And they can get it. You know, we have an understanding when we open up our mouth. The worst thing you want to sound is stupid when you're trying to tell somebody why you can't do something on Saturday. Okay? You don't want to sound scripted either. You just want to be natural. So at any rate, Matthew chapter 5. So one of the things that people will say, because a lot of times, a lot of people aren't going to argue with you if the Old Testament, if the Jews is saying that Saturday is the Sabbath. They're not going to argue that. They're just going to say that's the Jewish. But when Jesus came, he fulfilled all that. That's what people are going to tell you. They're going to be like, Jesus, he did what he was supposed to do, so now he changed the Sabbath to Sunday. But watch what the book say. This is out of Jesus' own mouth, like my teachers say. This is written in red. Pick it up at verse 17. We're going to do Matthew 5, 17 through 19. Go ahead.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
Correct.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
So he said, matter of fact, read 19.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Now, what you have to understand is there is no New Testament when this is written. This is Jesus giving a sermon. And so when he started talking about whosoever therefore shall break one of the least commandments, he's talking about like the 10 commandments. He's talking about Leviticus. He's talking about Deuteronomy, Numbers. He's talking about the things that they know to be the commandments. He's saying if you're going to go out here and teach or break one of these commandments, then you basically putting yourself in a bad situation. You're setting yourself up for failure. But what he's really telling you is, I didn't come changing the law. As a matter of fact, let's read verse 21. Go ahead.
Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill.
So that's in the law. So what he's doing is he's trying to let them know, like, I ain't come changing the law. You heard it was said, don't kill. He's going to enhance the model of the law. Go ahead.
And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in the danger of the judgment.
So he didn't take away from don't kill it. He really added to it. Okay? So if anything, we can say that Jesus may have added to the commandments. For example, in our Bible, it says it's good to do good on the Sabbath. Jesus had to come and say that. He wasn't taking away from the Sabbath. And just like how we saw thou shalt not kill, he added to what thou shalt not kill. So that it's not just don't kill, but it's don't think to call your brother a fool. Or another example, verse 43.
Ye have heard that it hath been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy.
Yes.
But I say unto you.
So that's something else in Leviticus. That's in the law. So he's not going to take that away. He's going to add and he's going to enhance it. Go ahead.
But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Yes.
That ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so?
Go ahead.
Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Right, facts. All right. So let's move it on further. Let's go to John chapter 4. John chapter 4. Because a lot of people going to come and try to tell you, I get it, but I'm a Gentile. I'm not a Jew. The stuff that you read in the Old Testament, that's for the Jews. That's what people will tell you. Not even knowing who the Jew or Gentile really is. But here's the answer to that. John chapter 4, pick it up at verse 22 through 24. Go ahead.
Ye worship, ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvations of the Jews.
Uh-huh.
But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him.
So notice what he told him right here. He says, look, you don't know what you worshiping, but we know we worship, for salvation is of the Jew. So what God gave to the children of Israel, that is salvation. And see, part of what the problem is, this ain't Jewish. Like the Bible isn't a Jewish book. What the Jewish people got, that it's wrong. Now you say, but I thought, but they keep Saturday as a Sabbath. Man, they do a lot of stuff. What the Jewish people got is wrong. They have a whole nother doctrine that includes some of what we do. You know what I mean? That's just like going to a Halloween party and not eating pork. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, you're not eating pork, yeah, but you still celebrating Halloween. There's still things that they're doing. They're not right. But this Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, it's accurate. And it's showing you salvation belongs to the Jew. What God gave them, that's the way the nations need to operate to get their salvation. So you can't just say, oh, the Sabbath day was made for the Jews. First of all, when God blessed this particular day, wasn't no Jew here. You know what I'm saying? Which is Adam. So if you want to say the Sabbath day was made for anybody, it was made for Adam. That's who was here, not the Jew. Let's go Mark chapter 16. Mark 16. Because here's what happened. So somebody decided, and they was wrong, to say, well, the reason we go to church on Sunday now is because it's the day that Jesus resurrected from the grave. People say that. It's the Lord's day. They use this and they use something in Revelation. But when they use that, they're inaccurate. They're not reading what they read. Jesus did not resurrect on Sunday morning. Mark 16, pick it up at verse 1. When you get there, go ahead.
And when the Sabbath was passed.
All right, so we're going to see that they recognizing, and that's why we hear in Mark. They're recognizing that the Sabbath is Saturday, the seventh day of the week. Watch. Go ahead.
Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, and Salome had brought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week.
So they said the Sabbath had passed. And it was very early in the morning, the first day of the week. So that means that in the days that they was Jesus was in the grave, they knew that particular day that the Sabbath was on the seventh day of the week. Now, I bring that up to say a lot of things. History that we have, modern history, predates Mark. We have modern history of Alexander the Great. He's before Mark. We have modern history of Nebuchadnezzar. He's before Mark. Okay? Now, because some people would try to play this hustle game like, well, we don't know what day really is, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Look, 2,000 years ago, the first day of the week was Sunday. The seventh day of the week was the Sabbath day. Still the same thing. If you were to look up week in an encyclopedia or something, it's going to tell you we've been had this before the death of Jesus. Okay? So, and when the Sabbath was passed, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, Salome, had brought sweet spices that they might come and anoint him. And very early in the morning, the first day of the week, they came unto the sepulchre at the rising of the sun. So the sun was just coming up. So we'll just say about 6 in the morning. Go ahead.
And they said among themselves, Who shall roll us away the stone from the door of the sepulchre?
Mm-hmm.
And when they looked, they saw that the stone was rolled away, for it was very great.
Mm-hmm.
And entering into the sepulchre, they saw a young man sitting on the right side, clothed in a long white garment, and they were frightened. And he, verse 6, and he said unto them, Be not affrighted. Ye seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen, he is not here. Behold the place where they laid him.
Go ahead.
But go your way, tell his disciples and Peter that he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him, and he, as he said unto you. And they went out quickly and fled from the sepulchre, for they trembled and were amazed. Neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid.
Okay, so if you pay attention to what's going on here, he's showing you when they got there Sunday morning, he wasn't there. So how we going to say Jesus resurrected on Sunday morning? Now, watch this one. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12. Matthew 12. And we're going to look at a couple things inside of our encyclopedias. Just to give us, and I'm going to use the Britannicas today when I go to our encyclopedias, but it don't matter. You can go to a dictionary practically to get the information we get. It's readily available. You'll see when we get there. But Matthew 12, 38 through 40. When you get there, go ahead.
Then certain of the scribes and the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonah. Jonah. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth.
Now, this is the one right here. You know, they say Jesus rose on Sunday. It just said that Jesus was going to be in the heart of the earth, like in the grave, for 3 days and 3 nights. Now, I don't know what type of math teacher y'all got. But even if we count Friday, and we did this a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you was there that day with us, but we had this. We were down in the Kensington area where I was preaching the gospel, and the girl was walking by, whatever. You know, she talking about she go to church Sunday, whatever. So, you know, then she turned around and was talking about how hypocritical church is or whatever. So I don't know how we got on it, but I was just like, yo, let me run something by you. So Jesus died on Good Friday, right? And you know how you feel like you're getting set up for a trick question, so she had to think about it. I'm like, I'm saying, what do y'all go to church? Like, are they saying Jesus died on Good Friday? Like, yeah, okay. And he rose Sunday morning in, right? Like, yeah. I was like, how you get 3 days and 3 nights from that? So she was like, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Then she was like, Friday night, Saturday night. Then she was like, I don't know. I like she just started, like she couldn't, like when she realized it. Like she realized it. Then she finally, you know, she was like, that's not 3 days and 3 nights. Somebody's story ain't accurate. Something ain't adding up right. Did he die on Friday? Did he? Then furthermore, we just read that when he got there, when they got there Sunday morning, he was gone. You can't even count Sunday morning in that. That's 2 days and 2. Look at you over there counting. Like she trying to figure it don't work. It don't work. She's still trying to do. She's still trying to. She like, baby, let me help you out in your math, okay? They got there, he was gone. Jesus was in the ground for 3 days and 3 nights. So Jesus was in the ground. We're gonna do it from reverse. He was in there Saturday. Then he was in there Friday night. Then he was in there Friday. He was in there Thursday night. Then he was in there he was in there Thursday, and he was in there Wednesday night. So let's do it forward. If Jesus died on a Wednesday, then they put him in the ground Wednesday evening. So that means Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night. He was in the ground. Then he was in the ground Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that means Saturday night, he would have resurrected. That's why when they got to the tomb on Sunday morning, that he wasn't there. He had already resurrected. But the point we're getting at is, it doesn't add up for you to make a change in what day we go to church based off of him resurrecting on Sunday morning. That doesn't fit with the rest of the Bible. It's just like randomly we throwing something new out here, like, yeah, Jesus resurrected on Sunday, so we can go to church on Sunday. How that work? Now, we're going to go to our encyclopedia here real quick. And we're going to look up Saturday, Sabbath, and Sunday. That's the three things we're going to look up. Saturday. So we got our Britannicas. Yep, just because I ain't hardly paying nothing for them. That's why I be using them all the time. Get my money's worth. So the first thing we're going to look up is Saturday. And I love looking up this Saturday in the Britannica. Because watch what it say. We're going to let you read. So I need you to, I know I didn't show it to you before the lesson. So I do apologize. But go ahead. Read that Saturday to them. This is out of what? This is Encyclopedia Britannica, Volume 10, and he's on Saturday, page 469. I don't know what year this is, but go ahead. What it say?
Saturday.
Yep.
7th day of the week.
That's it?
Oh, Saturn, Latin.
No, that's the next word. Saturn.
Oh, yeah,
Saturn.
that's it. Oh,
so that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So Saturday is what?
Saturday, 7th day of the week.
Just that simple, huh? That's what it's like. Saturday, 7th day of the week. All right, cool. All right. Let's look at the next one. Sabbath. Oh, same book. So we're going to look up Sabbath now. Crazy. You look stuff up, and then, Saturday, the 7th day of the week. Like, one of the common languages that they teach us is in school is Spanish. And look at the root of the word. Sabbath. Or Sabado or something like that. Is that how you say Sabbath in Spanish? Mm-hmm. Or Saturday in Spanish. Mm-hmm. Even my watch will do it. Not this one. One of my watches. Where it'll like come by and on Sunday it say lunar or, you know what I'm saying? No, Monday it say lunar. Mm-hmm. On Sunday it say
Domingo.
Yeah, something like, what? That's Spanish too? Mm-hmm. I thought it was like, anyway. Yeah, so and it say Sabbath on my watch. It just say Sabbath. It don't even say Sabbath. So at any rate, so we're about to look up Sabbath here. See my children, they're so bright. So we're going to look up Sabbath. And here's what it says. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing no page. All right. Sabbath. Hebrew, Shabbat. So that's another way that they say it in the Yiddish form of Hebrew, the current Hebrew. Day of holiness and rest, observed by Jews from sunset on Friday to nightfall of the following day. The time division follows the biblical story of the creation. So we kind of read the creation, showing you that, hey, it's the evening to the morning. And there was evening and there was morning one day. See, same thing. All right. And it says a lot here. I just really trying to get the gist of it. Because this is not really, I don't have to get all of this. Really, I want to see. But, so let's go here. And so I'm going down a couple paragraphs. It says, in modern times, Orthodox Jews strive to observe the Sabbath with full solemnity. Conservative Jews vary in their practices. Because Judaism is, they're talking about what Jews do. Not what the Bible do, but what the so-called Jewish nation do. It says, conservative Jews vary in their practice. Some seeking certain modifications to permit, for instance, travel on the Sabbath, forms, whatever. Among post-Reformation Christians, a few groups, such as Seventh-day Adventists, observe Saturday as their day of rest and worship. A number of Sabbaths during the Jewish religion year have distinctive designations, whatever. So that's talking about like the feast days, stuff like that. So here, though, for the most part, when you look up Sabbath, it's showing you like it's the day, it's the Jewish day, or it's the biblical day that you're supposed to keep holy. The Sabbath, that's what it is. Now, let's look at one more real quick. Sunday. Am I on the right book? I need to go to this one now. Let me go to this one now. Sunday. And I'm just trying to show you that you can go to you can look this up on your own. That's my point. And they're gonna give you enough information to walk you down the path of showing you, like, yo, like, Sunday is not. We're gonna see what it say for Sunday.
Yo, you're going the wrong way.
No, just gonna. Oh, you're right. Yo, bad. Why you ain't been telling me?
I don't know what you was doing.
Sunday. Oh, no, that's sun worship. We'll get to that one later. Sorry. Sunday. Sunday. The first day of the week. In Christianity, now when the encyclopedia start talking Christianity, you might as well say in Catholicism. In Christianity, the Lord's Day, the weekly memorial of Jesus Christ's resurrection from the dead. So they're saying that every Sunday is a weekly memorial of Jesus being resurrected from the dead. But Jesus didn't resurrect on Sunday morning. We just read that. But they're saying in Christianity, that's what that is. The practice of Christians gathering together for worship on Sunday dates back to the apostolic times. But details of the actual development of the custom are not clear. So the encyclopedia is saying it go back to the days of the apostles, but how it started, they not clear. Because that's not true. It goes back to the days of the apostles, but the apostles wasn't doing Sunday as church. Then it says, gathered worship on Sunday dates back to the apostolic times, but details of the actual development of the custom are not clear. Before the end of the 1st century AD, the author of Revelation gave the first day its name, the Lord's Day. They just saying that. Like it say that John the Baptist was on the island of Patmos on the Lord's Day. Ain't got nothing to do with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They don't tell you what day of the week it is. It wasn't even about a day of the week when you read that. The Emperor Constantine, 330 and 337, a convert of Christianity, introduced the first civil legislation concerning Sunday in 321, when he decreed that all work should cease on Sunday. So in 321, a Roman emperor was like, all work need to stop on Sunday. There's a book around here somewhere called the Sunday Blue Laws. Like from that point forward, it became technically illegal to work on Sunday. Okay? Based off the Sunday Blue Laws. When he decreed that all work should cease on Sunday, except that farmers could work if necessary. This law, aimed at providing time for worship, was followed later in the same century and subsequent centuries by further restrictions on Sunday activity. All right. So that's what we were talking about, the Sunday Blue Law. They kept going with that. So let's go to Daniel now, chapter 7. We just got a couple more scriptures. Daniel chapter 7. And so what you do, and what I do is I just try to find the simplest form of information to provide when I'm going with outside information so that it's available to everybody. Meaning you could go get a World Book Encyclopedia at your library and look up Sunday, Saturday, Sabbath. You can Google it. You can look up Wikipedia. It's going to give you information that's gearing you to or leading you or pointing you in the right direction of which day you're supposed to honestly keep the Sabbath. Now, we're here in Daniel, and Daniel is prophesying about the Gentile dynasty and how the Gentile going to take over the world, Nebuchadnezzar being the first. Daniel 7 and 23. What it's going to show us, too, though, is that the Gentile is going to, like how we saw Emperor Constantine in 321, that they're going to change the times and the laws. This is not something that the Bible didn't forewarn us of. Daniel 7, verse 23. When you get there, go ahead.
Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces.
He's really just saying that this last kingdom, which is really Rome, is not gonna fall. The Greek kingdom fell, the Medo-Persian kingdom fell, the Babylonian kingdom fell. But this last Roman kingdom is not gonna fall, because although the Roman civilization, the Roman Empire, might have failed, Julius Caesar and them, but it didn't. It kept coming back. Holy Roman Empire. It came back through different people. And this is what Daniel was telling us. Came back through its church, the Catholic Church. All right. But go ahead, keep reading.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them. And he shall be diverse from the first. He shall subdue 3 kings.
Go ahead.
And he shall speak great.
So there's why we really hear it. This is a man that's coming from this Roman Catholic Church. We know him as the Antichrist or the Pope. And when we call him the Antichrist, it's not like, oh yeah, you're the Damien, the 666, the last of the last. All of my Antichrists. You see what I'm saying? They all are anti the Messiah. Okay? So, but read that. Read the next verse. I mean, read 24 or 25. Yeah.
25.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High,
Mm-hmm.
and shall wear out the saints of Most High,
Mm-hmm.
and think to change times and laws. And they shall be given into his hands into a time and times and the dividing of time.
Right. So now I'm going to show you guys something that came from the Catholics. And I think what I ended up Googling was Pope change Sabbath to Sunday. Just that simple. That's all I Googled. Okay? And there's a letter, and I actually have a printout of this letter. But I just went online and just like Googled it, and then I just took a screenshot so I could read it for you guys. But here's what the letter says. This is from the Catholic Extension magazine, the largest Catholic magazine published in the U.S. Dear Sir, regarding the change from the observance of the Jewish Sabbath to the Christian Sunday, I wish to draw your attention to the facts. Number one, that Protestants who accept that the Bible as the only rule of faith and religion should by all means go back to observance of the Sabbath. The fact that they do not, but on the contrary observe the Sunday, solidifies them in the eyes of every thinking man. Not solidifies, stultifies. I don't know. I guess it's a word that makes it seem like they ain't that bright. That what you're doing ain't that smart. We Catholics do not accept the Bible as the only rule of faith. Besides the Bible, we have the living church, the authority of the church as a rule to guide us. We say this church, instituted by Christ to teach and guide men through life, has the right to change the ceremonial laws of the Old Testament, and hence we accept the change of the Sabbath to Sunday. We frankly say, yes, the church made this change, made this law, as she, referring to the church, made many other laws. For instance, the Friday abstinence, the unmarried priesthood, the laws concerning mixed marriages, and the regulation of Catholic marriages, and 1,000 other laws. We also say that all Protestants, the Seventh-day Adventists, are the only group that reason correctly and are consistent with their teachings. It is always somewhat laughable to see the Protestant church in the pulpit and legislators demand the observance of Sunday, of which there is nothing in the Bible. So this has come from the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is saying, y'all stupid for going to church on Sunday. We made it up. We changed it. And that's what we read, that there was going to come a time when these people was going to come to change times and laws. Now go to Ezekiel chapter 33. Ezekiel 33. We just got a couple more scriptures here. Ezekiel 33, and we're going to read verse 30 through 31. Ezekiel 33, verse 30 through 31. And when you get there, go ahead and read.
Also, thy son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, Come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from the Lord.
That's what they saying. They're like, come on, y'all. Let's come to church. Let's hear the word from the Lord. Go ahead.
And they come unto thee as the people cometh.
He said they come like the people come. Go ahead.
And they sit before thee as my people.
He said they sit down like they my people. Go ahead.
And they hear thy words.
Yep.
But they will not do them.
He said, but y'all hear the word, but you ain't doing it. And that's what's happening. That's why we at church on Sunday. Go ahead.
For with their mouth they show much love.
With their mouth, We show love toward God. Go ahead.
But their heart goeth after their covetousness.
Yeah, but their heart going after something else. This is why people going to church on Sunday. Let's keep it moving. Let's go to Ezekiel since we're here, chapter 8. Ezekiel chapter 8. We're almost done. Just got a couple more. It's real simple. One thing about church, really at the end of the day, you read the law and tell you to keep the Sabbath, and we can be done with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's no question in my mind what day is the 7th day of the week. There's nothing in the Bible that tells you that nobody in the Bible went to church on Sunday. As a matter of fact, this is what they thought about going to church on Sunday. Because church existed on Sunday before Jesus died, before Jesus was even born on the earth. And here's what they thought about it. So Ezekiel chapter 8, and let's just pick it up at verse 15.
Then said he unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these.
Uh-huh.
And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house.
So he's showing them the abominations that Israel and their forefathers are doing, the wickedness that they're doing. Go ahead.
And behold, at the door of the temple was the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of the Lord, and their faces toward the east.
What they doing?
And they worship the sun toward the east.
Right, so he's saying the people that's worshiping the sun. Like, you go to church, and your pastor stand up, and behind your pastor a lot of times, especially in our older churches, there's like a glass mirror, and you'll see, or even on the side walls, you'll see, and they'll show like the disciples or what they think the disciples look like, or Jesus, or what the angels were supposed to be, and they all had these halos around them, because this is what they was worshiping prior to going to church. Like prior to them changing that, they was worshiping the sun, and all their gods had like a halo around them representing like the disk of the sun. Okay, keep reading though.
Then he said unto me, Hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger. And lo,
that's good. Now we back in our Britannica, and once again, I don't know which way to go. We're looking up sun worship. That's in here too. Sunflower. Sun is like a separate word, so you gotta look S-U-N. And then you gotta go find worship. All right, here we go. Sun worship. All right, sun worship. Veneration of the sun, or representation of the sun as a deity, as in Antonism in Egypt and in the 14th century BC. Although sun worship has been used frequently as a term for pagan religion, it is in fact relatively rare, though almost every culture uses solar motifs or something, them little halos. Only a relatively few cultures, Egypt, Indo-Europe, and Mesoamerica, developed solar religions. All right, so that's what they tell you. Because they're not trying to tell you that we worship the sun on Sunday. But watch what I will show you. So we skipping all the way through. You know what I'm saying? They give you information on the sun god, and which is like Ra and all that. Like they're not trying to act like when you go to church on Sunday that's when you look up sun worship. They're not trying to tell you that that's because basically what they would be saying is all y'all worshiping the sun that's going to church that who pick up a Britannica. They ain't gonna try to blatantly tell you. But here's one chapter in here. It says during the latter period of Roman history, sun worship gained in importance and ultimately led to what has been called a solar monotheism. Nearly all the gods of the period were possessed of solar qualities, and both Christ and Mithra acquired the traits of solar deities. The feast of Sol Invictus, unconquered sun, on December 25th was celebrated with great joy, and eventually this date was taken over by the Christians as Christmas, the birth of Christ. So what I'm saying is, we just read here, and it just lets you know that Sunday was initially the worship of the sun god, and how we adopted it into the birth of Christ. Well, it's the same thing with Sunday. We was worshiping the sun, and we adopted the Christ into it. Emperor Constantine did it in 321. All right. Now let's go look at Matthew chapter 15. So that's where we get this Christmas from. I mean, excuse me, that too. That's where we get this going to church on Sunday from. See, we just do it not because your mama did it. It's the custom. It's the thing to do. You know what I mean? They're set up everywhere. Like if you think about it, churches or schools. You know what I'm saying? Which one is more? Like which one do we have more of? I bet money it's probably churches. You know what I'm saying? Just think about our little neighborhood that we live in here. It's more churches over here in this neighborhood than schools. Think about it. You might be like, well, damn, we got church right up the street. We got school right up the street. Yeah, you got church right next to it though. You know what I'm saying? They ain't the only church that's in this little, you know what I'm saying, in this little area. Like you know, a lot of people have their little churches. They be set up. They be like little bitty house. You don't even recognize it. You know what I'm saying? But I bet it's probably more churches than schools. You know what I'm saying? So we not breaking that tradition of going to church on Sunday. It's just not what the world is going to do. Okay? Matthew 15, pick it up verse 3 through 9.
But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition?
Yeah.
For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curses father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, Whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, It is a gift, but whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me. And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition.
Right, so what he really getting at is like we take our traditions and we breaking the commandment of God. It's just like we got a tradition of going to church on Sunday. We got a tradition of having Christmas. But we can be breaking God's commandments with our tradition. Just because it's our tradition doesn't make it right. It's just like if we grew up and I say, here, take this fork and eat your cereal. That don't mean it's the right way to eat the cereal. You're going to always miss the milk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't just about eating the cereal. It's cereal and milk. Give me a spoon so I can have it all. But I've been teaching you to do it a certain way, so you think that's the right way to do it. You get to school, you like, hey, man, what's wrong? Why you eating everything with a fork? Like, man, it's the right way. No, it's not. But this is what my mama taught me. That don't make your mama right. You don't eat cereal with a fork. You get it? Like, that just you don't poke. It just don't make sense, right? So, verse 8. Go ahead, read 8 and 9.
This people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth.
That's what we do. We draw nigh to the Lord with our mouth. Go ahead.
And honoreth me with their lips.
And we honor him with our lips. We make all these beautiful songs. You know, we put on these beautiful clothes, and we do this every Sunday. Go ahead.
But their heart is far from me.
Why?
But in vain they do worship me.
So we're talking about worshiping. And this is what church is about on Sunday. He said, in vain they worship God doing what?
Teaching for doctrine the commandments of men.
They're not teaching God's commandments. They're teaching the doctrine of men. The doctrine is the law of God. The law of God is what we opened up today at, and it said that you go to church on. No, it says that remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days God made the heavens and earth. The 7th day He rested. He sanctified and hallowed, blessed that particular day. Colossians chapter 2, verse 18. Last verse here. And this is just something real short. Share with your friends and your family if you need to. Anybody that's struggling with trying to understand keeping the Sabbath day, hey, we went through the scriptures a little bit. We tried to keep it short and simple. Was it hard to understand, Corinne? Why you gotta tell her to say no? Maybe it is hard for her to understand. I'm just saying that my 8-year-old can understand it. So can you, if you want to. Colossians chapter 2, verse 18. No, verse 16.
Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of a holy day or of the new moon or of the Sabbath days.
Why?
Which are a shadow of things to come.
So at the end of the day, these Sabbath days, they're a shadow of things to come. Saturday is showing you that the Lord going to set up his kingdom on the 7th day for mankind. Man would have been here it would have been our 7,000 year, our 7th day. What is Sunday showing you? The Lord going to set up 1,000 years of peace on the earth because 1,000 years to man is a day to God. And so God going to pick it up. It's almost like he kept count from the day he started the creation. And we going to match up with him for mankind to enter into rest on the 7th day. So the Lord is showing you something for the future. But what is Sunday, though? Only thing I know about Sunday is the sun's day. S-U-N, not S-O-N. So, brothers and sisters, I hope that y'all learn something, maybe some key pointers or things that you might be able to express with others when showing them why you go to church on Saturday, or why you keep the Lord's Sabbath day, or even if this is your first time. I hope that that we were able to impart a little bit of knowledge into your mind to help you begin to understand what day you're supposed to have your godly service, what day God sanctifies. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I hope y'all have a blessed Sabbath, and I hope y'all learn something in Jesus' name, and I'm going to leave you what I always leave you with, but I'm going to let him do it. You forgot it?
No, I says you make me laugh. Or something.
How I make you laugh?
I don't know.
Am I funny to you?
One man plant.
Do I look funny to you?
No, you're
Does
fine.
I look like
one
you?
Man plant, another man water, but it's the Lord that gives the increase.
And we thank you for your time. Peace in Jesus' name.
Who shall teach knowledge, make them understand, Doc? Who shall teach knowledge, make them understand, Doc? Line upon line, make them understand, Doc? Open script and I'ma read it right. Study to show thyself approved. You got to read it right. Everyday hell, I'm just trying to show eternal life. I'm just trying to show eternal life. This burning all at me.